Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to take a look at Fresh Monkey Fiction's Operation Monster Force Delta Red Urban Operations Trooper. Now, we've already looked at the Delta Red Nocturnal Operations Trooper. I believe this is pretty much just a repaint of the same figure, but we're going to open them up. We're going to take a look. I do think this is a really good figure. A lot of different modular parts that we can use on the plate carrier. Just so many different things that we can do. So that's what we're going to see a lot with this line, and I'm perfectly fine with it because this is what smaller companies have to do. This is what bigger companies do, so it's not just the smaller companies. But anyway, we'll take a look at this. I don't know why I did this. I was kind of aggressive. Anyway, here's the wonderful picture of the actual figure. We got a Delta Red right there, Urban Operations Trooper. This is number 2 in the line. On the back, we get another blurb talking about the storyline and the lore of it. There you can see the figure, and there is a cross-sell of all the figures. On the inside, what you're going to have is a comic book panel kind of explaining who these guys are. And quickly, to kind of tell you what they are, is they have been injected with vampire blood, but not Dracula's. And Dracula is the field commander of them, but he can't control them because it's not Dracula's blood. But if they don't stay like this for 13 full moons, then they can be reversed back to human. This is so the Forgotten King cannot mind control them because he can't control the dead. And then right there we have what comes with the figure, how he looks, and there is a bag of stuff back here, and I'm assuming it's probably the same as everything that we already got with the other Delta Red figure. But let's open it up and take a look at it because this is what you came here for. But before we do, if you like this type of content, you like what I'm giving you, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a Monster Force, Operation Monster Force video. Alright, so let's just get into this guy, and he is not just a straight repaint. There are some differences to the buck. So first off, we'll take a look at the stand. It's Operation Monster Force, as I showed you before. It is a tombstone. It's pretty beat up. The color is a little different than, we'll say, this one. This is a lighter gray, very, very little. You can just see a little bit of the wear more on this. I don't know if that's on purpose or maybe this is how the paint was coming out at the time. Again, does say Operation Monster Force. It acts as a tombstone, or it can be your stand. It says Delta Red on it. Obviously, 2 little pegs. If you need stands to stand your figures, as you can see, they don't really need to be done. All right, we're going to go through everything, and we're going to see that there's a lot of reuse. So the plate carrier, this is a plate carrier, if anyone doesn't know, and I'm not trying to insult anyone because I didn't realize that's what it's called. So this is the plate carrier, everything that comes with him and comes with Van Helsing, the same plate carrier, same attachments and everything that you can get with him. All right, so quickly, we'll start off with these little things. So you're going to get a radio here. Okay, radio looks pretty good there. All right. I like the fact that this one here, the same with this guy over here, it just has a little blue screen on it. It does make it look a little bit better than the one that was all black. And then you're going to get a pouch here that's going to plug in anywhere that you want it, whether it be into the thigh holster or into the plate carrier. It sits up like that. We get a second one here. So if you want to use this, you can also pop in a magazine. We're going to leave that out for a second though. All right, so there you have, this is your magazine. Goes in obviously the gun. You have 3 of these, 1 already in the gun, 2 here, a painted bullet in all of them. So it actually does look pretty good. And as you can see, I'm already starting to get a lot of these that are starting to build up already, considering buy every figure, you're going to have a whole bunch. We got this knife, and I really do like this blue. there's something, I really do like the blue right now. So that looks pretty good there. Only the blade is blue. Handle, guard and everything is just black. And then, where'd it go? Right here is your sheath for it. All right. And it plugs in nice. You can see that the rivets are just a slight different shade, and it has just a wear look with that color. So I think it actually looks really good. I am happy with how that looks. We get the pistol with that same blue slide, and I gotta say, this, of all the pistols that they've shown us, the 3 that I've gotten, I like this the most, but I just like that blue. So the trigger there is painted blue. The handle is not. It's got a port for blast effects. Here is one of the blast effects. All right, it's got a nice little smoke plume coming out. This is the same as the other ones, and it does plug in nicely, no issues, and it does work with the G.I. Joe weapons if you're interested or wondering about that. So, put this to the side. Here is your holster. They are all right-handed. All right, so this is going to plug in. And technically, you could have a crossover, but it'd still be right-handed. But this is going to plug in anywhere that you want it to, on the vest or on one of the light pieces. All right, so here's one of the light pieces. It's going to slide up this way. The hole is going to be towards the top, so the weight holds it down. And again, you get that blue look. You get the blue little clasp there that's going to hold it together. And I really like the colors that you're getting with this one. I'm really happy with the way this color looks. And that thing just pops right in like that. And it holds on really good. Some people were worried about one of my other reviews, thinking that they come off too easy. It's not that they come off easy. They actually stay on really well. The problem is they're pretty big and bulky. So when you're trying to pose the figure and you hit it with your hand, you might pop it off. But that's only as you're trying to pose them. As we all know, our hands are probably a little bit bigger than a little kid's. So you're going to have that issue. I just kind of say, slide the things onto where you want it. And then you can put everything where it needs to be. So you do get 2 of these for the thighs. All right, because obviously you can put the knife on it. You put the radio on it. Like this. All right. And it looks pretty good. Actually, it looks really good. You're going to get some flashbang grenades, smoke grenades. They look nice and weathered. They look worn. They're obviously supposed to be metal, and it has a nice little strap that wraps around it. Again, same things that we have already seen. We get the small pistol. And, well, I didn't know where the pistol went. So in my other reviews, or did I figure out where it was during the last few? I don't remember. Anyway, nice blue slide goes there. He does not have a holster for it. On this piece here, the pistol goes right there. All right, I didn't realize this. I know on Van Helsing, I think I might have figured it out when I did the last Delta Red figure. So we get 2 blast effects. There are 2 more. There's 3 blast effects altogether. Here's a bigger one. Again, has a nice plume. No, no bullet or anything. That's something you get from Mezco, a much higher price point. But I do like these. I think these look way better than Hasbro's. All right. They can technically be crossed. I mean, if you want to say they're laser, you could. But to me, they look more like they're supposed to be bullet effects. And then you have 1 smoke effect. And I absolutely love the smoke effects. There's a few companies that are doing them. Now, Valiverse does some. Hasbro will give you some. I think they're all nice because it's really hard to screw this up. But it's translucent. It looks pretty good. We have 4 sets of hands. So on every figure, the C-cup hand comes there. They all have, he has knuckle dusters because he is wearing gloves. He's a vampire. So again, if he's going to go out in the daytime, he's going to want to be completely covered up or else probably going to disintegrate. We have these left and right open hands, which I think really work for monsters. I mean, they are monsters. And again, you can see the knuckle dusters there. Painted on pretty good. I have no issues with it at all. Someone had complained about how small the stem is for the hand. I've had no issues. They actually pop out super easy, pop in super easy, and they don't feel like they're going to come out. And we'll go over that in a little bit. The trigger fingers, I think every figure should just have trigger fingers. I would actually have these on them to begin with, considering that's how you're going to put guns in their hands. But for whatever reason, they wanted to go with the C-cup hands, and then you have punching hands. Not a huge fan of punching hands, but they do come in handy with doing different types of photography. Here we have what I believe is a SCAR rifle. No one has corrected me, so I can't say if I'm right or wrong. All right, this is the same one, from what I can tell, that comes with the other Delta Red, the Nocturnal Operations Trooper. It has this nice green. Oddly enough, I found a paint set that actually works pretty well, and I really like it. It looks pretty good on it. Your stock has this nice paint. It has this black all the way through it, a little bit of silver up here. And then, of course, you have a magazine that removes, and you have a bullet right in there. And this magazine does stay on without any issues. That can sometimes be an issue with some of the manufacturers when it comes to magazines that they don't want to stay in. Don't have an issue with this. This gun is nice and straight. It does have a little bit of give there in the barrel. All right. Just trying to make sure. I think that one actually may be broken. No, maybe not. I have to play around with it a little more. It's straight. Let's see if I can look at this guy here. Yeah, I actually believe this barrel might be broken. I think the bottom piece, because this one seems to have a little bit more give, but it's hard to tell. I have to play around with it. Either way, if I don't mess around with it too much, it shouldn't break, but it's nice and straight. Again, I got to be honest whenever I'm doing my reviews, because most people are coming here to get the honesty that some people don't give you, and it's understandable. Here we have a pouch that you can plug in there. Again, very modular, so you can do all kinds of things. And again, you can use it on Van Helsing, you can use it on other Delta Red, and obviously other figures that will be coming in from the line. Now, this is something that we didn't get before, and this is elbow pads. They match the knee pads. They definitely have some wear on them. I don't know if I'm going to use them, but I'm definitely going to see how they work, and we'll throw them on there and see how good they are. But it does look good. The nice wash on it. They're definitely dirty, which is good. Straps are a different color. I'll mention it as long as I'm doing reviews, whether it be G.I. Joe or anything else. Just a little bit of paint on something like this, like they did here, really make a figure pop when it's on your shelf or when you're doing any type of photography. Here we have the pauldrons, and they slide up pretty well. You can see I got the pauldrons over here on this guy. Again, I really like the blue, but they are worn, same as the elbow pads. And I mentioned earlier on the last video, when it comes to certain figures in the G.I. Joe line, let's say like this new Falcon figure, the pauldrons that you get are awful. I absolutely hate them. These I don't have a problem with, probably because they're not completely round. They have a flat spot here. They fit really nice, and they don't make it look like the shoulders are super bulky over here. You know, you can see them here, how it fits, right? But there you go. It looks good. It is going to slide up like this. So this is the top piece where that slit is. All right. We're going to get to this. So here we go. This is one of the attachments for the plate carrier. Now, I absolutely love this because this changes the plate carrier completely and is modular. It has these little mushrooms. They're fairly easy to get in. The only thing that I would suggest is that you pop this in when you have this, when you have the whole plate carrier off. And we'll take it off to show you exactly how it goes on there. All right. It just makes it easier to pop it in. if you're having a hard time, heat up the vest. Do not heat this up and then push it through. All right. So what we do have here is I think they said a leather punching material. It's not a butterfly knife, but I like butterfly knives. I know exactly what type of utensil it is. It's got like uh, the wrench on it, or the needle nose pliers on it, and it's got a bunch of different things on it. It does look really good. All right, it's painted silver right up there. You got the shotgun shells, which I think look good. The pouches. Again, nothing opens up. Now, what I did notice this time around, I'm going to show you here because I'm not going to change it. You can go look at one of the last videos. This is where you can pop in the 2 extra magazines if you want. So if you're using this plate carrier, you can pop those magazines in there. Now, I know in the real world, they normally have 7 across there, but this is toys, and you can really only do so much. So you can pop in those 2 extra magazines. I didn't realize that before, but I do now. So the same way that I had missed where the gun goes, I also missed where the magazines go. So here we have on this what looks like an extra magazine for the pistol, along with 2 right there. Looks like a little flashlight, like a mag light. And this are scissors for the tourniquet. I know people get mad when I said that it's some sort of med kit. They didn't get mad. They just corrected me, and I appreciate that because I don't know, and we all make mistakes, and this is how we learn. Again, I'm reviewing an action figure, not so much how they would be in the real world. But hey, if I can learn something, I'm more than happy to let everyone know. All right, so let's take a look at this figure. And I kind of showed the differences. Not that there's too much difference on him. All right, so you have a hell of a face here. Now, it would have been cool maybe if the hair was a little bit different, considering they're supposed to be actual people. They get changed. They don't think they all have the exact same hairdo the moment they become vampires, but what do I know? He has his nice teeth that are popping out there, blank eyes. I mean, you have all that detail in the head, and he has this mohawk, right? Does have the port in the back for a backpack. These backpacks fit in nice and tight. This goes to Sleepwalker. If you are using a Joe backpack, they will be loose. You'll need to use some sort of sticky tack. I do not know about Valaverse. As I don't have any Valaverse near me, I actually only have a couple Valaverse backpacks and have no idea where they're at. So this here, it fits perfect with this Joe one. Hell, this actually looks pretty damn good, to be honest. That is Falcon's, but it's going to fall right out. So you need some sort of sticky tack if you wanted to use that. All right, up here we have some grenades or flashbangs or smoke grenades. Someone really did get mad at me for that. The blue, a little bit of yellow, red. You can see the pin, and these just kind of pop out. Now, unfortunately, we'll just keep dropping stuff and we'll get it later, I guess. You know what? Where'd it go? That's right here. So right here, all right, it would be cool if they were individual. They're not, but I can go ahead and I can change it. I can throw in this big one right here if need be. All right, and these go in pretty easily, but I was saying about this, there's 2 different mushrooms. It is easier to get this on here if you have the actual vest off. This piece does come off. It's just a panel right here, but I think it's supposed to be more like Grunt's little flip down phone that he has, or a little computer. And again, if that's something you want to do, you can pop that off. This one is a pain in the ass to get back in, and it starts to warp or bend. Not warp, but kind of bend when you pull it off, so I'm not even going to bother. When you look here, you see some nice detail. Again, this little bit of color goes so far when you're posing the figures. Belt has pouches, clasp in the back here, shotgun shells, all nicely painted, and then you have your little hooks that you can hook on, obviously, things onto. Belt looks good. Knee pads are painted differently than this guy, but they're the same knee pads. And then you have the boots, which are the same, but painted differently. Now, what is different is the arms, okay? And I'm not sure if I have any figures that have these arms. Maybe I think Van Helsing may have the same, not Van Helsing, Dracula. So he seems to have the exact same arms, all right? So the one thing you are losing is this communication right here, whatever's on here, for just these plain arms. I'm perfectly fine with that because maybe you just want to make some regular army figures. You don't want to have them all armed up like that. There you go. Now to take this thing off, we got to pop off the head. The neck piece does come off. All right, so the neck piece will come off. And that is because, let's say you want to put Van Helsing on here. You could put him on here. All right, you pop it on there. You're going to have a blank neck. You want to put a vampire on it. You want to cover it up. There's all kinds of things that you can do. They're making it very modular. Right here, that piece comes off. Just kind of lift the arms up. And this comes right off. Nice and easy. So we're going to pop the head on here really quick before we get to the helmets. And we can take a look at all of his articulation. All right. So he can look up that far. Not that good. Van Helsing can look up really good. He can look down. And you can see how the neck moves along with the actual ball joint that this is on. And turn side to side. There is his T-pose. He has his bicep swivel. Pinless double elbows. And obviously his wrist will turn. He has a diaphragm cut. All right. I mentioned it before. I'm more a fan of the ab crunch. I feel like you get a better crunch. But you have the diaphragm, and then also you have the waist. So you can turn back and forth. Actually, a good amount. Your Jean-Claude Van Damme with drop-down hips. Drop-down hips are meant so they can drop down, but it means that you can kick out usually further and put them in vehicles. All right, so they sit better. But be careful because drop-down hips are just one more thing to go bad. Thigh cut. Pinless double knees. You got your boot cut right here, and then your ankle rockers. Now on to the butterfly joints. These are butterfly joints right there. All Joes have them. Most Joes don't work. Matter of fact, I believe the only ones that actually do work, for the most part, are the Crimson Twins. And the reason for this is to cross over like so they can hold pistols, so they can put swords in their hands, and there's not stress. A lot of customizers will take a Joe one, and they'll just kind of trim it out here, and it allows them to get more. The G.I. Joes really are, it does give you more playability, but it doesn't allow you to do this. Valaverse does a really good job with it. I think Operation Monster Force, Fresh Monkey Fiction is also doing a good job with it. All right. As for the hands, they pop out super easy. I feel like when hands started becoming a thing, swapping them, they were really hard. G.I. Joe was difficult. Valaverse was difficult. Now, they seem to be getting better. And I know someone had complained saying that they're too small. They don't lock in. I don't have any issues. They're nice and tight. No problems. Now he has a trigger finger, so we can do whatever we need to. All right. And we did look at his face. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the helmets. So this one here is the same as the one that we got here. Same logo on it, so you can pretty much give them exactly what you were having before. If you kind of want to arm them up or whatever, same face on the inside. All right, so it has that vampire face, kind of looks like a goblin face. Teeth are gritting, still has the white eyes, and then you have the red. On the side here, where the metal is, it is that blue. No difference in the back. All right, that looks like it's a, well, you know, maybe that is a, I guess that is the blue tint. So I guess the back is a little bit different. For the most part, they're all the same. You got these bullet holes or bullet shots in the helmet. And they technically are different. There's one up here. But you can swap this out, use it however you want. I do wonder if in the lore they're going to say how, yeah, you can be turned back to human, but eventually this has to take its toll on you. But this is the same helmet. I think it looks pretty good. Actually, I'm really happy with how it is. This piece does pop out. Now, you got to remember, they're vampires. So if they're in the sun, well, it's not going to be real good for them. So they're going to give you this extra piece. And once again, it completely covers. Now, I believe this is like a sight form. So how else could you see if you have this down? This guy actually has two right there. But you do have the nice blue. It really does set it off. And they're making it so if you buy multiple figures, you can have this head, up like this piece on, and then this piece. So technically, you're going to get 4 to 5 different looks just with the heads. Now we get this helmet. Same helmet that we get here. But I'm not going to lie. That blue face right there is awesome. I love that. This gives me a Marvel Legends feel. I can't even think of what I'm thinking of a character, but I can't think of who it is. You got the awesome red eyes. All right. The helmet, look at that. It's all like not bathed, but just painted with that nice blue. I love this. I think this one looks really good. I was really happy with this. I like this guy even more than what we have over there. So, all right. So let's arm him up and we can see how he looks. So, normally, I can't say normally, but pop this helmet on here. Maybe. They're tight, so just be careful here. Man. So that's how that piece comes off. Normally, if you twist it properly, this thing will come off fairly easily. All right. And again, what I was saying about this, pop this piece off, but I want to keep this on, so I'm not going to. I've already shown you. Pop this off while it's off. Pop the one side in, and then wiggle that in there, and you won't have an issue. This piece here, I would suggest not taking it off. I don't really know what you would put there, to be 100% honest. All right. So one of the questions would be, how easily does this thing go back together? Well, first off, you gotta get that belt out of the way. And if you're new to the channel and you're wondering why are you doing all of this, I like to show you exactly what you're getting out of the box, not, hey, this is what it does. Hey, this is how it looks. A lot of channels would do that, and they're great channels, but I want to show you everything. So here's the mushroom. You're gonna have to take something. I have these little tweezers here, and you just kind of want to get underneath it once you get it in place. All right. And because it's so pliable, you really need to have some sort of pressure. So you just kind of take the pressure there, and now it's on. Valiverse had a huge issue with this. So they were kind of like the guinea pigs. They have resolved that issue since their first series. And I'm sure like they took a lot of design cues from, you know, Marvel Legends, G.I. Joe, Valiverse, any 6-inch figure. So, all right. So now we're just going to pop the neck back on here. All right. Maybe. I have it all crooked, so. But you got to be a little forceful with some of the stuff. Just don't be He-Man. So there you go with that. Now what we'll do is we'll slide these up here. And they slide up nice and easily. All right. Probably don't want to have the stuff on it. It's just going to get knocked off, to be 100% honest. But no big deal. And you just kind of pull it up with your fingernails. It goes up there, and I gotta say, they stay up pretty nicely. Something that I can't really say the same for G.I. Joe. The Hasbro ones, they tend to fall off. So this is what I'm talking about. See how easily that came off? Only because I'm trying to jiggle this up. It stays on perfectly fine once you have that in the up position. And again, you want the hole there to be on the up. All right. Once you get it to the position that you want it. All right. Now you can just take this and plug it in like so. And it stays on good. All right. I mean, that's me holding it. Now, if I put too much weight on it, it's obviously going to break it. Not break it, but fall off. But that's how well it holds it on. So you don't have to be concerned that that's going to be a problem. All right. That's just a head. Don't need it. All right. As for the knife, where did my knife go? Or did I lose the knife? We shot something onto the ground, right? Oh, nice right here. I like the knife in the back. I don't like being backstabbed. Now, this is an issue that I did mention when it comes to Valorverse's plate gear. When they have one, it is glued on. Well, the problem is if you want to sit a figure down, it's going to get in the way. It becomes cumbersome. I like this because I can pop it out, but I like the aesthetic in how this looks. G.I. Joe also has one figure, I believe, or at least a couple of plate carriers that do the same thing. And it's one of those things that it just gets in the way if you sit them down. All right, pauldrons. Remember, the slit goes up like so. And I think these actually look pretty good. I kind of wish the vest had more blue in it, to be 100% honest. And that neck seems kind of loose. And then we have our elbows. And just by looking at the knees, see how the knees are, that means this is going to go up. I don't know how big of a fan of the elbow gear, the elbows, elbow pads I'm going to be. I will say this, I've worn elbow pads many times skateboarding because you get swellbo over time. Actually, that fits really nice. Not bad at all. Maybe G.I. Joe should do this when they have tattooed arms, and they can kind of hide the elbow that everyone seems to absolutely hate because they don't tattoo that. So the pauldrons up here. Now the biggest thing is going to be how well can you pose the figure with all this stuff on. All right, that has been a point of contention. I like to pose my figures. I like to go outside, do a little bit of photography. I feel like the elbow pads are definitely going to ride down a bit. But you can pose the figures, or at least bend the elbows perfectly fine for the most part. There's a rifle. I do like this rifle. I think it's a pretty good rifle. Now, when you want to get that sexy sniper pose, that is trademark Coco Smooth the Casual Collector, your biggest issue is going to be anything that you put up here. First off, the whole plate carrier on any figure, G.I. Joe, Valorverse, the plate carrier becomes in the way. I think this one is softer, so it's more pliable. I know the G.I. Joe ones now are becoming a little bit better, but this is something you're going to really want to move out of the way. So if you want to get into that sexy sniper pose, like so, this is what you're looking to do. Those grenades are just going to be in the way. But the one thing is, for the most part, if you're taking shots, just hide it where the hole is. So there you go, look at that. A pretty good shot. These figures do stand extremely well, and you'll see this in the next part when I put it on the on the Lazy Susan, or as my ex likes it to be called, the productive Susan. Okay, so that is my Delta Red Urban Operations Trooper from the Operation Monster Force figure line. This is the second Delta Red that I did. He is mostly repaint. Forearms are different. He gives them a couple different things like the elbow pads. But I think I like this one the best. I like the blue. It just really looks good on this figure. I am super happy with this. So far, this is the 5th figure in this wave. I have the 2 Joe Fist exclusives, and I think they're just really good figures. They just work in so many ways. So if you're into them, I wouldn't be worried to get them. You can only get these at Big Bad Toy Store. That is the legit store in case if you are not familiar with toys and you're just coming across some vampire guys that you like. Alright, so there you go. That is my Delta Red Urban Operations Trooper review. This might be my favorite figure so far. I like these figures. I mean, I like the idea that they're vampires, kind of, but they're human. I said this before. What this is this is a super original idea and line taken from something that is super unoriginal. And what I mean by that is you've decided to take monsters, vampires, werewolves, Dracula, and all these other things that are just, there's nothing new with them. And now you've created that they're an actual army. And one is fighting against another one, but the human Van Helsing has to bring in undead figure. I love the idea, but there is something really cool about this figure. It's very military. So you flip that thing down there, and guess what? This can be any action figure, any military action figure. It doesn't have to be a vampire. Same with the mask. Now you put the head on it, not so much. But there's so many other figures that they have coming out that will have multiple heads that you can just pop that on there and then you're good to go. So I'm really happy with these. Again, just got them. It hasn't even been a full week with them, but popping these things open, I'm really enjoying them, and I just don't see myself not liking them in the near future. So anyway, there you go. That is my review. Before you leave, you stayed this long, take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell notification. If you're new to the channel, yes, I know I'm not pointing at anything. I don't go back and edit anything in. It's just for fun. But I'm going to get out of here. But don't go anywhere. What I'm going to do is leave you another review for a Delta, not a Delta Red figure, not a Delta Force figure. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Another Operation Monster Force figure. And down here will be the playlist of all the Operation Monster Force figures that I've done. Take care.